Now, the success of independent candidates in many of Bradford's inner-city wards was due to dissatisfaction with how the National Labour Party has handled the war in Gaza. And this was how one Green Party candidate celebrated in Leeds.
We will not be silent. We will raise the voice of Gaza. We will raise the voice of Palestine. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Astonishing scenes. Allah Akbar cried on the streets of Leeds after a local council election. And joining me now to discuss the Bradford council election results is journalist Qais Hussain. And Qais, you stood as a candidate for the Conservative Party. So a lot of people commentating from the media perspective. You actually took part in this election. There have been a lot of rumours, a lot of allegations, a lot of evidence, as we just saw, that it became a very divisive, sectarian election fought along issues of Gaza and not Great Britain. What can you tell us from your first-hand evidence?
I think it was atrocious. I wanted to discuss the prosaic local issues that needed to be discussed. Bradford Council is going bankrupt. You know, the cost of living crisis, the rise of food banks, but nobody wanted to discuss this. Everybody wanted to talk about Gaza, the plight in the Middle East.
And I understand you experienced some abuse and even some physical attacks on the campaign. What happened, Qais?
It was quite spine-chilling. So I was handing out pledge letters and leaflets, and someone said to me, what are you going to do about what's happening with Israel and what's happening to the Palestinians in Israel? And I said, I have no global legislative power. I want to campaign on Bradford and put Bradford first. And if elected, I will, work alongside our MP, Sir Philip Davis, and do things. And this person didn't want to discuss it. And the person kept on saying to me, you have baby's blood on your hand, because you're a Conservative, and that, why you're not, someone called me like a dirty Zionist, you don't care about what's going on, what's happening to the Palestinians in Israel. And I was like, I do, but it's immaterial and it'll just be me virtue signaling. I have no global legislative power. I'm not Alicia Kearns. I don't sit on the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. If I was elected to council, I would talk about council issues. And the same thing happened in Bradford a few months back when they were discussing the budget. They wasted time 3 hours talking about what's going on in Gaza when they could have talked about kids using food banks in Bradford. But they have no interest, no zeal to talk about local issues, just international issues. And I actually feel sorry for a lot of their constituents because they deceived them, promising that they could solve the plight in the Middle East. If you elect the independents, we'll do this, we'll do that. But again, people voted for the Bradford independents because they're sick of politicians lying. But perversely, these politicians have lied by standing on a platform to end the war in Gaza and Israel.
And how concerned do you think we should be about what many are saying appears to be an emerging sectarian, religious-based voting sect quite outside of the ordinary British political establishment? Is this a right-wing conspiracy theory, Qais, or is it something we should be concerned about?
I think it's a left-wing conspiracy theorist because a lot of these people are far left. They are socially conservative, very, very socially conservative, but fiscally very, very left-wing. And it's quite funny. A lot of votes went to the Green Party. And I said to the people, and I abhor identity politics, but don't forget in the 2019 general election, Jonathan Bartley, the leader of the Green Party, said he would ban halal and kosher meat. So a lot of Muslims that voted Green, if we had a Green government in 2019, they would have banned us from eating our food. And that's what I said to people. It's quite scary. Radical Muslims, radical trans rights activists were feigning harmony at the Green Party conference. We'll be feigning harmony at the Green Party conference. It's a coalition of chaos. But the one good thing about it is that the Labour Party has lost its monopoly on Muslim votes. According to the Muslim census, in 2019, 71% of Muslims voted Labour, and that concurs with other polls, which suggest it was around 72%. But according to the local democracy reporting, the success of independent candidates in many Bradford City inner city walls was due to the disaffection they have with the Labour Party over Gaza.
And Qais, how powerful do you think the Muslim voting bloc could become over time if it unifies as a cohesive unit?
I think it can be. But the problem is they have nobody who can, who will be a good mouthpiece. Give George Galloway credit where it's due. He's an amazing, amazing orator. But a lot of people with these Bradford independents, they're standing on they're standing on a platform of one issue, an issue that's immaterial. So they're not coordinated enough. But one thing which upset me the most, I said to people, I don't really want to discuss global issues, but if you do, let's discuss what's happening in China. the espionage, the infiltrating Alicia Kearns. 5 Conservative MPs have been banned from China. Dominic, Nuzgani, Ian Duncan Smith, Tom Tugendhat, great people. China are killing Muslims. Let's talk about that. More than 500,000 Muslims have been killed in the Syrian war. More than 200,000 innocent Muslims have been killed by Islamist terrorist attacks in Muslim countries. What's happening in Burma? Nearly 1 million Muslims have had to flee.
Okay.
24,000 Muslims have been killed in Burma. People didn't want to discuss this. They just want to talk about Gaza.
OK, Qais Hussain, thank you very much for joining us. Of course, strong opinions there. Many people will disagree with them, but that's the home of free speech. Now,